And good evening. Welcome to the Sports Office. I am your humble host, Jennifer Hammond, alongside Richard Luderman.
Humble meteorologist.
So formal.
Mild mannered.
I know, I was just doing my lips. I was getting my makeup on. I've got something to say.
Now, what's with the shoes, Jen? I mean,
these aren't shoes. These are boots. This is a look. This is a fit. Dannie Rogers is going to join us in the second segment tonight, and she will talk about fits because she is a fashionista of local media and as well the social.
But don't these get messed up with the weather and the salt and all that jazz? I mean,
well, I shoveled my driveway today. I have not salted yet because, as you know, Rich Luderman, it's too cold for salt to adhere.
The salt doesn't work great when it's this cold. It does not.
So I did not salt yet.
Okay.
And then when I tippy-toed from the parking lot into the building at Fox 2, like
Woo!
this. See?
Just like that.
Show the boots. Show the boots.
Woo!
We've got Adam.
Those boots were made for walking.
They were.
Oh,
and that's just
These
what
really
she'll
are
do.
like, these
We're
are
already off the rails.
One of these days, those boots are gonna walk all over Jen. Ba, ba, bum, ba, ba,
Right?
bum, ba,
No,
ba,
nobody's
bum.
walking all over Jen.
Amen
These
to that.
are, cute leather. Actually, I think, who made them? What's written on the
I
bottom?
can't read. I can't. It says that. Sorrel.
Yeah, these are Sorels.
Sorrel.
All right,
Awesome.
thanks, Adam.
Hey, you got to read something, and then we got a guest,
This
about a
episode
fashion
of the
show.
Sports Office is brought to you by Figer Law. All we do is win. All we do is win. All right, let's bring in Colton Pouncy from The Athletic. We've got some Lions talk. Colton,
I'm not going to ask what shoes he's wearing.
what shoes are you wearing tonight?
I'm wearing some slippers. I'm comfy at home right now, so I'm
Oh,
chilling.
Nice.
And I've got to tell you, this vibe in your abode is quite excellent with the little red backlight. Without getting too specific, I do want our viewers to know a little bit about you. Colton Pouncy works for The Athletic. He's an excellent writer. He has covered the Lions for how many years now?
About to be year 5 and 26. My first year was 2022, so Dan's second year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe that has gone by so fast. And you're a Detroiter. You live downtown.
I do, yeah.
And we have run into each other at one of our favorite little spots that most people call it a grocery store or a drugstore. And I call it the bar. It's the Bodega in Brush Park.
Yeah, great spot.
Isn't it one of the greatest little spots? I want everyone in Metro Detroit and Detroit to know about the Brush Park Bodega. It is darling.
Hey.
It's crazy. They make a great espresso martini, and we go there pregame before a Tigers Day game. I digress. I'm off the rails. But I do think one of the things about the Sports Office, and you can join us in with our calls, put the little QR code up there, Tom Carr. Thank you. You can join into the meeting room. So what you need to know, though, is if you join into the meeting room, put your camera on, and we can put you on the air here on the stream, and we can ask you a question. Or if you just want to watch, you can just watch us on the Fox Local app. And that's that. That's all I'm going to say about that, like Forrest Gump. Okay, so, Colton, let's start with some news today. I don't know if it was expected or unexpected, the Mike Kafka hiring. How long was something like that on your radar that they were looking to add, the Lions were looking to add another piece as far as an offensive staff member?
Yeah, I kind of moved on from Kafka. I mean, he was on my radar for the OC search, and I believe he got an interview shortly before Petzing, but he was kind of off my radar for a little bit after the Petzing hire was kind of made official, only because I didn't think they had room on staff for him. I think the only open job on their staff right now is tight ends coach. So unless he's coming in for that role, there might be a little bit of shuffling to be done. But bringing him in, getting a guy that you interviewed for that OC job to also have another role on your offensive staff, that's big. We know how the Lions like the continuity on staff, but I really thought it was needed to go and get an outside voice, an external voice that can come in with fresh voice, fresh eyes, fresh perspective on what you guys did over the last few years. Bringing in an outside voice like Petzing, I thought made a lot of sense. But to go back to that well and get an outside voice like Mike Kafka, just doubling down on bringing in some outside perspective, I think that's probably where Dan wanted to go with this move, and it makes sense from my perspective.
I think it's really cool, too, because you look at Kafka and what he was able to do in that Giants organization, and you don't need to look any further than the game the Lions played against the Giants and all the points that they were able to put up on them. How much of that is kind of his fingerprints, and what do you know about maybe his offensive philosophy and how he might add to this offensive attack?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, I've talked to some coworkers at the Athletic about him. He's a really smart dude. He played quarterback in Northwestern, had a cup of tea in the NFL, stuck around for I think parts of 6 seasons, 5 seasons, something like that, and then immediately got into coaching. He was a GA at Northwestern, and then spent 5 seasons with Andy Reid and the Chiefs. So he comes from that sort of West Coast system, that West Coast offense. Was a quarterbacks coach, so he coached Patrick Mahomes personally. Then he gets his first stint as an OC with Brian Dable, a close friend of Dan Campbell's. And it was a little bit rocky there. They had some success, some up years, some down years. Sometimes he was calling plays, sometimes it was Dable. But when Dable was let go midseason, he took over full-time play calling responsibilities. And I think a lot of Lions fans remember that Giants game because, man, the Lions snuck that one out. I didn't think they were going to win it. Jahmyr Gibbs kind of saved the day for them. But I think they put up 517 yards of offense, a lot of trick plays, the creativity. I think that's where he can leave his mark, just being an ideas guy. It felt like when Ben Johnson left, some of those trick plays left with him to go to Chicago. So if you can bring a guy that's creative and can put guys in positions to succeed, if Kafka can do that, I think he's going to be successful here in Detroit.
So there's no doubt that Kafka's talented, Petzing is talented, both 38 years old, by the way, both of them, young guys. My question is there any concern that you have too many cooks now, that you've brought in Petzing, now you're bringing in Kafka, and Dan Campbell has never been shy about kind of, being a part of that offensive game plan and taking over play calling when twice now. So do you foresee any concerns about that kind of becoming an issue at any point?
Not with the guys they've brought in. I think that's generally probably something to be on your radar when you're hiring so many different offensive minds. But with the two that they hired specifically in Petzing and Kafka, like I was talking to some people about Kafka, they said the biggest thing that's maybe a draw for him is that he's really adaptable. Whether you want to call plays as an OC, he did that. If you want to kind of be the more game plan guy and scheme things up, he can do that too. That offense that he was running in New York wasn't technically his, it was Brian Dable's. So he's used to coming into a place and not running his own system or his own background, his own philosophies. So he's pretty adaptable. He blends into every situation. I think Petzing's sort of the same way, but Petzing sees the game the same way as Dan in terms of the under center stuff, play action rates, all that stuff are things that the Lions already do in play. So I think he's a seamless fit. But Kafka being so adaptable and so adjustable, I think is probably one of the reasons why he's here.
And I love the notion that Dan Campbell said he didn't want to go for this one and done guy. That's, I think, why Mike McDaniel isn't part of this equation here, because he's obviously in line for a head coaching job again and soon. And as he goes on to an OC job, that's going to change probably pretty quickly for him in San Diego. What are they?
LA Chargers.
The LA Chargers, thank you. But I do also appreciate that Dan Campbell is a really good coach. He's a really good leader of men, but he doesn't have the smartest man in the room syndrome. Like, he seems to appreciate input and ideas and kind of a group think, if you will, Colton. I think that really speaks to his strength, and I've got to imagine that having other guys from other places will only make this offense even stronger, better, more creative, because he's probably been sitting home during these playoffs every single game thinking, we could have beat that team. We could have beat that team. We could have scored on that team. It's got to be killing him right now, and now he is really doing the work to get guys in here to help him do that next year.
Yeah, I give Dan a ton of credit. He could have, run it back with some of the same guys and, said our offense wasn't broken. It was maybe just the offensive line, just tweak some things here. But, he went out of his way to bring in these outside voices. And, it's really not, he's never really been a my way or the highway type of guy. So I really think it's going to be a collaborative effort. Mm-hmm. Even last year when they were, trying to figure some things out and he took over play calling, he's still leaning on everybody on that staff. And I imagine it's going to be the same way in 2026 with some of these new voices on staff because, 9-8, it's not good enough around here. You set the expectation a couple years ago going to the NFC Championship. You went 15-2 the year before. So falling to fourth place and 9-8, I'm sure that's weighing on Dan. And he's seeing how these playoffs are unfolding and is probably saying to himself, like you mentioned, Jen, like, we got to get back to being in these big moments. So credit to him for, realizing things weren't working and making some changes here.
What kind of changes do you think we may see, if any, coming on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I'm not sure. One thing that came out today is Jim O'Neill, who's kind of coaches safeties here in Detroit. I believe he was up for the DC gig in New York with the Jets. Aaron Glenn was trying to take him away, but it seems like the Lions re-up to keep him around. So, it seems like Kelvin Shepherd's going to stay around, and I think he should. I think he did a good job when the defense was healthy. Mm-hmm. I don't see any drastic changes. Maybe a position coach might leave here or there, but at this point, I think Shep's pretty safe, and I think he deserves a second year. I mean, he was doing some good things before that defense got hurt, so I don't think you'll see too many changes on that side of the ball.
You were with us in Chicago, right, when Skipper was talking at the end of the season. That was really hard. Yep. Great to see him kind of make his decision, obviously a tough one, but to jump right into coaching. How successful do you think he'll be in that role?
Man, I think he's going to be awesome as a coach. Dan Skipper is one of the smartest dudes in that locker room. He was so insightful. You could talk to him about anything off the record, on background. He would tell you rules of the game, things that they were being coached on, all those fine detail-oriented points. He knew all of that. And you could tell just in brief conversations with him that if he wanted to be a coach one day, he would. Now, some guys don't want to be a coach. They want to enjoy that family time, get away from the game. But, man, Skip loves this stuff. So not surprised to see him retire and then go into coaching immediately, and wish him all the best of luck because I think he's got a career in this for sure.
Yeah, he's such a good dude, and I'm really happy for him and his family. And I think it's probably just a matter of maybe a couple of weeks. I saw a video of Taylor Decker working out again. I don't know if that was current or if he was running it back. How soon do you think we'll hear from Deck on what comes next?
Yeah, that's a big question right now. I think they're all kind of waiting for his decision. Obviously, I think you hope that this decision comes a little sooner than Frank Ragnow's did.
He's not going to Ragnow them. He is not going to Ragnow them.
He did talk to us after that Chicago game about needing some time, getting away from football. He talked about not even being able to play catch with his kids. That's how bad his shoulder injury was. So, I imagine it's going to take some time, but maybe a month or two. You probably need to get into March. You probably need an answer by then when free agency comes around, just to avoid a repeat situation. But, man, if the itch comes back, I could see him come back for another year and maybe with different results this time.
All right, Colton. Hey, anything you want to promote that you've got coming up, coverage in The Athletic, something you're working on?
Yeah, nothing in particular, but, you can follow me on Twitter, X, at Colton_Pouncy, read my work at The Athletic. And, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, The Athletic is a great site,
yes.
And I'm a subscriber, and it's it's definitely worth it.
Great job.
The Athletic?
Because you get a lot of great content.
It's beautiful, it's long form, it's in depth, and it's intelligent. It's not reactive. Colton, thank you so much. Hey, let's get together at the bodega soon. I'll shoot you a text, and we'll have a little beer down there. And
yes,
by
please.
the way, I just wanted to say Colton was in the house with his buddy Nolan Bianchi on Saturday when Campy and the Grizzlies beat UAD. But that was a great game and a great atmosphere, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was my first time going to a Detroit Mercy game. It was a lot of fun. Nolan's a big Oakland guy. I'm always there to support him. He supported me for some Mizzou stuff here and there, so I got to return the favor, and we came out to support the Grizz, so got a big dub on Saturday.
I hope I see you guys February 28th. I think it's a Saturday or Sunday, last game of the regular season. They play at the Arena. And I don't know if you've been to the Arena yet for a game. That is an atmosphere, too.
All right, I'll put it on my calendar.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Colton Pouncy,
for
being with us. Appreciate you. Keep up the great work. Talk soon. All right, we're going to hit a break, and then on the other side of the break, we should have Dannie Rogers joining us. Oh, yeah, she is gonna. We will see Danny on the other side of the break. Stick with us. The Sports Office rolls on this chilly Monday night.
Yeah.
Tom Carr over in the corner. Ladies and gentlemen, the man
that's the
pushing
hardest
the buttons,
working
operating.
man right there.
He's
Look at him
working
go.
so hard.
I love it. And there's Mary. Mary is our floor director. So Adam is just learning how to operate the, what is that called? The steady cam. I wish I could take a picture of you with this crazy camera on your shoulder. All right, we're going to go now to our dear, dear friend, Dannie Rogers, who is out to dinner somewhere. Where are you, my beautiful friend?
Hi. Shout out to Chef Anthony at Medusa.
Oh, you're at Medusa. I heard that Medusa is great. It's down the street from She-Wolf, or where exactly is it?
I don't know.
It's in Detroit.
It's in Detroit, downtown. We're in like what, Portstown,
Ask
Midtown?
Rachel where you are. Let's see, Rachel. Where's Rachel?
She's behind,
oh, she's behind the phone?
She's behind the phone. You know why.
Oh,
but it's coastal Italian vibe. Midtown. Fantastic. We're in Midtown.
It's an Italian restaurant in Midtown. Okay, Medusa's on my list of the next place to go. I'm going to get Kevin to take me there for dinner. All right. So we were talking about the new offensive assistant for the Lions. I've got to imagine that you like all of these additions that they're making to the coaching staff in the offseason, right? There's excitement in the building. Give us that intel.
Okay, I will say there's not a ton of movement in the building right now per se, because it's a little bit low key. However, you've got to have some excitement with all of this stuff. You'd like to see the offense improve here from last season to the following season. But here's the thing. I'm going to be hyper vigilant of the new offensive additions and defensive as well, because there were about 11 or 12 assistants added last season. And in my head, I'm like, well, will this make a big difference in terms of the play calling and the overall vibe on the field? And it did. It did. It affected how this team played on the field. So I'm going to be watching very closely all of these new additions and seeing how well they're worked in.
I appreciate
but
that.
But if they don't address that offensive line issue, it doesn't matter who they bring in.
Absolutely. Well, I've got to imagine that they will. Have you had any conversations with Taylor Decker?
I haven't. No. That man's enjoying Arizona, where it's 17.
I know. Yes. It's probably one of the few places in the country where it's not actually freezing rain or freezing cold. Although Florida was in the 80s today, so they're doing okay down
Texas
there.
issues.
Can we ask you any personal questions here on the Zoom tonight?
Probably not.
Okay.
Shut that down immediately.
Okay. All right, then I will not. Luderman, we were talking about sports movies. What is it? There's a good sports movie that you saw.
I mean, there's Rudy and Hoosiers, and but there's one that goes back to the middle 80s. It's called Victory, and it's with Sylvester Stallone and Michael Caine and Pele, and obviously there's a soccer twist to the movie, but it's a good flick, and we were just talking about it, Danny. Do you have a favorite sports movie?
Do you have a favorite sports movie, Dan?
I'm the biggest baseball girl ever, so I'm going to go Moneyball.
Oh yeah.
You cannot lose with Moneyball. I freaking love Jonah Hill. Love Jonah Hill in that movie. And I love Moneyball. And I also, you know what I really love? I love the little combination, like the little nuances they do to the Tigers and Dave Dombrowski and the soda machine and all of those funny little jabs. I think it's kind of cute and quirky, right?
Oh, I didn't hear you. My new martini just got delivered.
Oh my God. Cheers. I love that. Cheers. Wait, you girls can't toast and not drink and have eye contact. Could you please do like Jen taught you?
That's funny.
God.
Could you please? Oh, I love that. I'm so sorry that I'm not there. Actually, I may be leaving here and coming right down there after this.
Monday night, having a good
then
time.
Tune into the
that.
Sports Report
know,
tonight.
right?
See
And
if
then
Jen
we'll be on
can
Sportsworks.
Put
at 10.
3 words together.
All right, I'm going to let you get back to your dinner. I love you dearly, madly. Let me see Rachel. I really want to see Rachel in there.
Did she make an appearance?
Can she get in there?
Okay.
Okay, so these are my OG girls. So there are not a ton of women that do sports in the
Jen
country.
taught us everything we know. We love her.
Yep,
She's our fairy godmother.
And in the city. Yeah, right? All right, thank you. All right, now I'm really coming down there. All right, thank you, Danny, for joining us. I love you both, and I'll see you all soon. Stay warm and enjoy your evening.
You too. Have fun with Kev. Bye, Jen.
Yes,
Right.
bye.
Top
Oh my
job.
gosh. Oh, I absolutely love that. She gives me good energy. Oh, and I forgot to show her the boots.
Oh, darn it.
Would've
I really
loved.
wanted more boot talk.
I know, you did want more boot
Yeah.
talk. She would have loved the fit.
Yeah.
Maybe she can still see it.
Can we talk about
what do you
sports
want?
movies?
Yes, we can talk about other
Real
sports
quick.
movies. Please tell
Okay.
us, Canner, your
No, I'm saying,
fave.
because clearly the greatest sports movie ever, Miracle.
Oh, that's a good
Miracle's
one.
very
Hands
good.
It is.
down.
It's a good one.
It's my favorite sports movie ever because it was so well done. Kurt Russell's the man, and I watch it on the plane to Vegas once a year.
Do you really?
It's
Every
my-
year when you
yep.
go for the second weekend in March for
that's
the
right.
NCAA tournament. Do you stay
Indeed.
at the same hotel every year when you go for that?
The last few I've stayed at the same hotel.
So not to make this episode all about alcohol because Danny
Yes.
was having a martini, but
Yes.
when you go to Las Vegas,
Yes.
it's one of my favorite times of the year to talk to you.
Yes.
Because if anyone knows you well, they know you are not much of a drinker.
Yeah,
But
well,
you go
I
to
can't
Vegas
drink-
and sometimes you have a couple cocktails
not
and one.
in recent years though, due to my condition.
My
I had to
condition.
give up. I had to
I've
give up
got a
booze.
condition.
I had to give up booze, which is unfortunate. But back in the day, yes, there were times where Jen would call me, and I was not.
Just because I wanted to hear
as
Buzz
coherent.
Canner. I wanted to hear Buzz Can. Have you ever heard Buzz Canner?
Woo!
Oh my God, it's the best thing ever. He does. He's like, hey, I'm so
perfectly-
excited. I won $10. Like I parlayed this. Something Maryland. I don't even know what.
I never bet on Maryland.
Oh.
I have enough emotional,
Baggage.
Yeah, and we don't need to talk about them now because they, Michigan State beat them by 80
That's true.
the
Yeah.
other day, so we don't need to talk.
Hey,
about
maybe
that.
we can talk about college basketball on the other side
But
of the
you know
break.
what? Tom has somebody to bring on real quick before we take a
Fabian.
break. Real
Okay,
quick.
Fabian's back. Fabian. Let's talk to Fabian.
Monday. Happy Monday, team.
Happy Monday. I got your email. Sorry I didn't respond. I had a day. I have a new puppy in the house that I got from the Detroit Dog Rescue.
God bless
Actually,
you.
I might
Good.
bring him. I might bring him on the air. I was going to bring him to work with me tonight, and I thought that it will just be a major headache.
No, bring him. You should have brought him.
Yeah, he'll come some night and hang out. How's everything going with you? What did you enjoy that Pistons win last night?
I love all my Piston wins. Yes,
Right.
I did. They grinding it out. I love it.
They really
I love it.
are. And I even go back to that one still from, was it last Monday over the Celtics? That game was something else. You had to love that one.
It was rocking, Jen. It was rocking.
Right?
We just pulling up our sleeves, going to work. That's
Going
nothing
to
changed.
work.
It really does feel like that. It feels an awful lot like those 94 teams. Okay, I'm getting a sign that says break now. Fabian,
Enjoy.
I
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you
me.
for always calling in and reaching out. And we will talk again soon to you, my friend.
Love the boots.
Thank you.
More boot talk.
Da, 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 da.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
we're back
We
on the
gotta
other
go
side of the
soon.
break. We'll wrap up the sports office on this Monday night. Stick with us. Okay, I got this. I got to ask Luderman quickly. Mike McCarthy, what do you think?
He's a Pittsburgh guy, got hired by the Steelers. I mean, it's one of those, we'll wait and see how that works out. It's good talk.
You've had like
That's
three,
a guy buying time.
you've had three coaches in 50 years.
Hey, Canner, what do you think of the Mike McCarthy? Do you think he's going to get along with Aaron Rodgers?
Well, he did at one point.
He did at one point.
But I don't think – I think they're the same team as they were last year.
Yeah, I wonder. Hey, I wouldn't be excited about it if I were a Steelers fan. We've got 10 seconds. I'm going to tell you one of my favorite sports movies ever, Warren Beatty, Heaven Can Wait.
Oh, yeah.
It is an
It's a good
oldie,
flick.
but it's a goodie. See you tomorrow on the Sports Office. Thanks for watching.